Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Hope you're doing well, physically, mentally, spiritually. Welcome back for another episode of the Splendida podcast. I'm your host, Daniel. Because this is a more spiritual channel, I believe this theme is somewhat related to it, or at least in part it's got something to do with spirituality if you are on that path, or if you want to be on that path. We all get through a lot of stuff during our life. I'm going to say everyone goes through hard times. Obviously, the hard times are not the same for everyone because we don't have the same lives. For a big part, we do not have the same attitudes. And therefore, we are unique, we are different, even if a lot of the times we also behave on a collective level pretty much the same, right? But that's, in my view, that's another subject for another time. The thing is, we go through all sorts of things, we weren't put here to just have an easy life, so we could just experience joy like the whole time. Unfortunately, that's not possible here on this earth. I believe that will be possible, or that is possible, in another reality, in another world out there, where we will get rid of everything negative that we've accumulated, and we will only experience what you might call bliss, what you might call unconditional love, what you might call everlasting happiness, whatever that is. You can call it whatever you want, okay? I believe on the other side, at one point, we will be able to experience all of that and more, okay? But here on this earth, you know how it is. You know how life can be very hard at times, okay? Now, you might think like, well, I know people that actually, they've had like a very easy life. They didn't really have to go through a lot of negative stuff. So what's up with that? That might be. Like I said in previous episodes, every single one of us comes here, or is born here on this earth, for a specific reason or reasons. Okay, so I believe there is a life before this life. Okay, so you pass away. Okay, you're no longer here on this earth. You pass away, and then I believe there might be a kind of like a waiting room, okay, before you are born again, because I do believe in that. Now, you might not need to be born again, okay? It depends on what your path is, if your path is complete or not. If it's not complete, then you might need to be born again. You might be in a similar circumstance or different one, it doesn't matter. But I believe there is that kind of like a waiting room, okay, where you decide what you want to experience in the next life, and then you're born. Okay, and you do not remember once you're born again, then you do not remember the past life unless you go through like some sort of past life regression therapy or Akashic records therapy sessions, whatever. So we go through a lot. Not everyone goes through the same, but because we're human, but what part of us, like this body is human, we tend to accumulate all sorts of low vibrations because we are on this earth. Earth is a very low vibrational place. Okay. And because we absorb all of those low vibrations, from society where we live, from other people, from other things, sometimes when bad things happen to us, right? Whether other people did it to us intentionally or not, we tend to take some time to forgive. Okay? And because we take some time to forgive, internally, spiritually, even mentally, it's a lot harder for us to be cured. Okay? So I mean cured at a spiritual and mental level. Okay? Not physical. So it's hard for us. Why? Because when you don't forgive someone, whatever that person has done to you, right? And I'm giving an example of you having to forgive someone, okay? I will give in a minute, I'll give another example of you asking someone for forgiveness, okay? But if you need to forgive someone, for something wrong that they did to you, some people, I'm not sure if it's a lot of people, the majority of people, but some people have a hard time doing that. And sometimes that can be understandable. Like, this other person, killed someone you loved. It can be really hard, especially if they were guilty. Do you know what I mean? Like it can be really hard to forgive that person. But when you don't do it, you carry that low vibrational energy with you. And even if you think you're doing it the right way, even if you think it's like, oh, this person got what he or she deserved, when you don't forgive that person, you're just carrying that low energy with you, like until you actually forgive the person. And when you do, you literally like you see this energy just like lift up, just disappear from your body, right? And that's why people think like, people say like things like, like I feel so much lighter. It was like a weight, took off my shoulders, or do you know what I mean? Just disappeared. It was like, yeah, that's exactly it. Because like there's somewhat like a physical reaction, and then something in you, I'm gonna say your soul or your aura, your energies, just feel that energy is just disappearing, evaporating in a way, and you physically feel that, and you feel so much better, and you feel so much lighter. Okay, so when people say like, oh, I feel so much lighter, it was like, yeah, that's not in in the manner of speech, that's literally people feel lighter. You know, why? Because it's something that has been resolved. So until that hasn't been resolved, you will feel heavy. Okay, even if you feel great because that person has been, I don't know, punished or whatever, or you've ignored that person, and you think like, okay, that's dealt with. It isn't until you forgive the person. Now, like I said, like, it's not always easy. It depends on the situation. But if you want to really move on, then you're going to have to forgive that person. Or even people. You know, for example, the people that are, I don't know, in control of countries, for example, or institutions, right? And they do have an effect on you, right? Because like their decisions impact your life directly. You can forgive them also. Now you might think like, well, that's not going to do anything. That's not going to improve my life, is it? It was like, well, spiritually, I think it will. So if you forgive everyone that has ever wronged you, everyone that has ever sent you bad vibes, bad energies in the form of words, actions, even thoughts, you can forgive them. Okay? And when you forgive people, no matter what they did or didn't do, not only you are healing yourself, okay, you're curing yourself, but you're also healing and curing, in a way, a little bit, the other people, the other person. Okay, so you're giving to that person, to those people, some of that healing, some of that cure. Now imagine if everyone starts to do that, or the majority of people starts doing that. You will see a shift in vibration all around the world. You will feel it. Well, probably not see it, but you will feel it, right? So that can only be good. And that is where the individual does something for the good of the collective, right? And the collective benefits from it and the individual benefits from it. That is a good example of how an individual can influence collectively, right? A lot of people talk about just the collective for the, we need to do something for the collective. Yes, but do not forget about the individual. There is no collective without an individual. Okay? You have to be an individual first and then be part of the collective, right? That's my view. So, and then the other thing is, when you ask for forgiveness, it can be hard for some people to ask for forgiveness. Why? There's the ego. There's the the being proud. We are very proud people. We are. A lot of people see asking for forgiveness as a sign of weakness, but it's not. It's actually a sign of strength, a lot of strength, right? So when you ask for forgiveness, or when you forgive someone, you are being incredibly strong. And so no matter what comes to you, you will be able to maintain that strength. So nothing could, affect you that much. Okay? So it's not asking for forgiveness, or forgiving is not an act, a sign of weakness at all. It's quite the opposite. Okay? So when you ask for forgiveness, whether people give it to you or not, okay, you can't control what people do. You can't control people's feelings, people's thoughts, people's words. You can control your own though. So when you ask for forgiveness, and if someone says like, yeah, well, I'm not sure about that. I don't think I'm ready to forgive you. And you go like, okay, I get it. And you move on. Obviously, it's a lot better if the other person genuinely forgives you, right? And again, there's that weight off your shoulders, just gone, okay? But even if that person doesn't forgive you, not straight away, there's not much you can do. You're not going to keep asking for forgiveness. You can just ask once and that'll be it. And then if it is that person's, so to speak, job to deal with it, right? I'm not saying you're dumping it on that person, but you've done your job. You've asked for forgiveness. You forgave that person. And now, it's the other person that needs to do his or her work, accepting your forgiveness and forgiving you, right? So, I think that is it for today. I hope you got some understanding on the forgiving, being forgiven, and curing yourself or healing yourself at a spiritual level, so you can move on in your life, so you can improve and lift your vibrations, your energies. Because when that doesn't happen, when the forgiveness doesn't happen, it's not good for you or the other person or people, right, involved. It's not good. No matter how difficult the situation is, it's not going to be good for anyone, okay, until that forgiveness is genuinely asked and given, okay? I hope I was clear enough. Thank you very much for taking your time to be here with me on another episode, and hopefully I will see you in the next episode, okay? Take care of yourself. Bye.